All right, everybody, welcome Brendan Lattin. Hey, buddy. Welcome to the show. Just like my
Thanks
first
for
band,
having me.
I get to make a lot of mistakes and try to figure things out with you. Um, but everybody, this is Brendan Lattin. He comes from Kansas. That's correct, right? Good.
Yeah,
And
got it.
We met in Korea around 2016. Um, I remember we did a show together where I just kind of opened up, and then you guys played, and we just it was one of my first, I think it was my second public performance ever, and then you were in a band called going, you were in a band called Hollow Home, which was really
Yeah.
good. I really enjoyed it, and you were with Soren Christensen, right, and Abbas Maski. Is that
Yep.
right? Abbas, right? And we just became friends, and I really enjoyed watching you guys play music. And um, then, so I was just working on getting better and kind of, you know, honing skills and playing more publicly. But I would go to see you guys, and after about a year, I think 2017 or early 2017, Soren, the lead singer, left, right? So you were the bassist, and Abbas was the drummer. And so you guys weren't doing anything. So I was like, "Hey, you want to be in a band?" And you're like, "Maybe." Very, very non-enthusiastic about it, but you were kind enough to help me out, you and Abbas, and because we had in Seoul, we had the Haebangchon Music Festival, right? Every spring and summer, or spring and fall, and this was coming
Yeah.
up in May. So we talked probably in March, like about 2 months before, and just trying to take my songs and shape them into a live performance with other musicians. And so you guys did
Yeah.
a lot of work to kind of get it going to where it was at least entertaining for to a degree. And so we started. Remember, we like naming the band. Like we went through like 1,000 names, and you're like, no, 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 no. And then I was reading something online about John F. Kennedy and the space project, like in the 1960s, and they had the word moonshot, and I was like, and I mentioned it, moonshot, to you, and you're like, yep, that's the one. Tell us why why
Yeah.
why did why did you choose that? Because I remember you telling me some story about that, but why did you agree to
Oh,
that name?
because maybe it was kind of a selfish or narcissistic kind of thing, because it had significance to me because in my family we and we maybe not so much anymore, but we used to have like a tradition of playing this card game called pitch. And to get the most points in pitch, you have to do something risky, which is called shooting the moon, which means like you bid as many points as you can, potentially risking like double the amount of points, but also, you could gain that amount of points. So it's like a moonshot,
There you go.
take a moonshot. Yeah.
Exactly,
It's kind of like a
exactly.
risk in this card game with the
And
potential major reward.
mm,
Yeah.
mm. And it was. I mean, I guess that it really did kind of fit the situation. It was like, well, I don't know what I'm doing, and you know, who knows what's gonna happen? Let's just go see and just have some fun. So we went with that, and we were able to play a couple times and work on some songs, and then you moved to Vietnam quite soon after that,
Yeah.
right? And
Yep. I'm still,
you're still in Vietnam, and Abbas moved back to Nepal, where he's like an astrophysicist or something. Like,
he, I actually went back. I actually went to Nepal and visited him
mm,
about 6 months ago,
nice.
and he's doing great. He, he's kind of running like a startup company that's kind of like he got a big grant to work on launching some satellites, and he's also working in conjunction with the Nepalese space program, which sounds kind of funny, but you know it's a real thing,
So,
and
yeah,
he's doing real well.
he's doing important things while I'm trying to start a vlog cast in in Seoul, South Korea, with all my friends that I've met along the way. So, no, actually, I want to do a reunion, hence the name, reunions. Maybe with a boss and you and Soren one day, and we'll talk about Hollow Home, your bands, and just how we met each other and what everybody's doing these days. That would be a really good episode, I think. But tell me about
Yeah.
so.
But I have to say, in your title, there's a colon, like in the name there, there's a colon.
Mm,
So it's kind of like when you're responding to an email, it's kind of
mhm,
like, you know, like Jeff Bezos replied to an email and it was like regarding unions. And then the
mhm.
email is just like, they must be stopped, you know,
Well, it is
kind of what it
not.
looks
It's not so sinister, that's for sure. But there is a secret
like.
meaning. There's a secret meaning about this. And if somebody can tell me what that is, then I'll give them a high five.
Nice.
But there's a secret meaning to that. But good
Yeah.
notice.
High
Um,
five. High five for the colonoscopy. Yeah.
tell about your musical background,
Musical background.
experience,
Oh,
things like that.
when I when I was in high school, I played the French horn.
What was his
No,
name?
I don't know. uh, let me see what I played in some small crappy bands in Seattle, and then I moved out to Seoul, where I lived, and joined that band with Soren. Um, that was a lot of fun because Seoul is such an interesting and exciting kind of city. And it was a lot of fun to kind of like play shows around there. You know, you're in the taxi and all the big buildings flying by and the lights and everything. And then, you go play a show. And that was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun playing in Hongdae and stuff like that. And then, yeah, I guess, after we disbanded, a boss was taken off and I was kind of the only one still there. And then we um, formed Moonshot, and that was pretty fun too, man. We had some good times. I remember I really
Just
liked what was that place down in the basement we used to play a lot? What was that place?
Bedrock.
Bedrock.
Bedrock,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
Rest in peace,
was fun.
Bedrock. It's now owned by uh it's kind of a restaurant upstairs, but they use it as an art and practice space. And sometimes they have like the people who own this restaurant are also musicians in a really good band called the Young Buns. They're a very popular
Yeah.
Korean band, and they use it as a
Yeah.
practice space and sometimes have uh, some small shows or whatever. And I do suggest anyone, if you're looking for a cool Korean band called Young Buns, is it Young Buns? Yangbons, which means like rich kids, apparently, something like that.
Yeah.
But they are quite good. They are quite good. So mad
Yeah.
respect to
I'll
them.
check.
But that was a good space, man. That was a good space. And I think at the time, man, like the music community around here was just there were so many options, right? You could play in so many different
Yeah.
places that weren't fit for music, but like you just made it happen. In some places like FF, or Bedrock, or the basement, or the what's it called, the bunker, alley bunker. There's places that actually had like actual good equipment and sound systems. So that was good. So you play bass and you play acoustic guitar as well.
Yeah. I play some electric too, I mean,
Well,
I,
electric, yeah,
I
guitar
don't
in
know.
general.
I think I'm more of like a guitar hobbyist that's
Mm,
good enough if
mm,
somebody wants me to join their band,
mm,
because I can kind of add to it, because
mm.
I kind of have like, you know, some ideas about how to do things. But other than that, I'm not like a real serious musician. I think if I really wanted to keep playing more, I probably shouldn't have left Korea, because there was a lot of opportunities and support and things like that when I lived there, that I felt like really encouraged me to kind of play out more.
Compared to
And
Vietnam, and you're in Ho Chi Minh City, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's some stuff here, but I just have never really been very social. I don't put
Mm.
myself out there to kind of like try to. I'm thinking about doing that more, because I'm getting really bored of not being like a permanent member in a band,
Mm-mm.
and playing
Well,
out.
dude,
Like, I,
I've always encouraged you, and to be honest, I've gotten to play the way that I play is more rhythmic guitar, and other people do more kind of lead guitar and scales and give the melody and stuff like that. And so there's been a lot of people who have helped me in that way. But honestly, I swear to God, like you are my favorite person to do that with. You come up with some really cool licks, um, and you can just you're just a very creative mind, and you really do give life to other people's work. Like, you really, really do.
yeah.
Um, and you're a great artist and things like that. So I really appreciate that times that we did spend together. And so I came the song we're going to talk about today, Already Dead, is a song that I wrote in your apartment while I was cat sitting for you. I guess you were in America,
Oh,
right? For like a month. And I
oh,
came
that's great. Yeah, I remember that.
and I was your cat Rainy. Is she still with us?
He is still with
Oh,
us. He's not here at the moment, but
okay.
yeah, he's among
Rainy,
the living.
Rainy with the one eye.
Yeah.
We love Rainy though. But anyway, I remember it was you were away for a month, and I had to I went to Vietnam, and I needed a place to stay, and you're like, here, just take care of my cat, stay here. I was like, awesome. And it was around my birthday, and I was kind of thinking about I was kind of lonely and a little bit lost, and I had lots of bad habits that had built up over the years, and I was thinking about like just noodling around and kind of coming up with something, and I kind of got a rhythm and kind of got an idea of kind of some lyrics, and I was thinking about, will I be able to change myself to be the better version of myself in the future? Or is it already written? Like, should I just accept that these are my faults and these are my, um, deficiencies? Or is there a real chance for change? And can I improve on those things? Because we have limited time, right? Like, I mean, eventually, everybody passes away. So, uh, at the end of the day, did you live with those things for the remainder of your life, or did you at some point were able to change? And what do you think about that? Like, what do you think about being able to change the things you don't like about yourself as you get older? Does it become easier, harder, or what?
Um, I think it's different for different people, because everybody has different levels of maladaptive behavior, like, it's hard to compare like a person who's been raised with a lot of privilege to, someone who's grown up in poverty, or, like, I mean, there's issues of like epigenetics. Like, even if your grandparents experienced massive trauma and your parents were just, raised in a fairly good household, that trauma still lives on in
Generational
some
trauma,
ways,
right?
generational. Like, this is something they've actually been discovering more
Mm.
recently about trauma. um so it's hard to say. I think, some people can overcome some of their darkness and maybe kind of incorporate it in a more adaptive kind of way to their lifestyle and their behaviors. But some people have cognitive issues, mental health issues that don't allow them to. They'll keep kind of going back into the same old ruts over and
Is it
over
is it
again.
is it a privilege to even question this? Like to be like, I don't like these things about myself, I want to change. Or is it part of
I think to a
growing
certain
up?
degree it is, because I think that if you have a certain amount of privilege and you live fairly comfortably, like a lot of the problems that are holding you back are probably just your own petty addictions, and or you're not just addictions, but also I'd say kind of like hangups,
Mm,
like, I mean, maybe like a really easy example would be kind of like just hyper masculinity, toxic masculinity in an honor culture. It's like you can't really change and be something else, so you're probably just going to keep making the same mistakes because you have the same software running all the time. That I think that so I think that the point that I'd make there is that it also requires a bit of openness to changing yourself, because I think a lot of people are just stubborn sons of bitches and they don't want to change. But yeah, I mean, I think it's possible. I know that I've changed a lot in my life and I've become more productive, but it's like, to what end or goal are you moving towards? Because like, you have to have a job, you're tired at night, like, I mean, what do you just want to be a good person? Do you want to be famous? Like,
right, right.
I think that you can, like, redeem yourself in a lot of ways and have self-respect
Mm.
and maybe do things that you can feel good about when it's all said and done. But I think to, like, kind of, if you're saying to be like some kind of like success or make a major achievement, that takes a lot of time and effort and planning and things like that. And so, there's other factors to consider. Like, do you just have the energy to do that?
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yep.
And I think like also like a lot of people, um, I don't know. I think a lot of people really view the only success to be kind of something that is in that, like, fame kind of category or monetary reward of some
Mm,
kind.
mm,
I think if we adjusted our expectations to like kind of like a more reasonable scheme, I think for a lot of people you should just wish to have a peaceful life that, where you can kind of help people, not harm people, and maybe have something about yourself that you love to do, or
mm,
something that you're willing to sacrifice yourself for.
mm.
But I don't know,
I do
like
agree. I do agree. It's situational for sure. On there's a lot of factors, you know.
but
Um,
but like, I would say that I've I have met a lot of people in my life that really fit that description of already dead, because it's kind of like, I don't know, like,
they've given up,
just to
or
like,
just this they're too deep into it,
even, well, not
or
just that. It's like,
unaware.
yeah, I think it's kind of something where you convince yourself of the rightness, the moral rightness of certain things, and you really program your mind to be uh rigidly directed towards one set of ideals. I think at a certain age you just can't get out of that, because I
That's what I'm
don't know,
saying.
like,
It's
you
like quick.
can't
It's like quicksand. Like there's a point where you just got to kind of You let go and let nature do its course. Just real quickly about the part of it is about the about reality, like what is reality? Is it destined? Does it live in like block theory? Is there multi-universe, multiverses, where everything that any choice you make has already been made? What do you think about that? Like the essence of reality? Like we're alive,
Well,
we're alive and we're dead at the same time. Like it's already happened.
I think a lot of the people that talk about determinism in behaviors, what they're talking about is like there's only a certain amount of choices that you're reasonably going to make given your brain chemistry, So it's like, it may as well be a deterministic kind of outcome. But I think that's kind of taking liberties with the word determinism,
Yeah.
However, I don't know, man. I try not to delve too much into the nature of reality. I think that my philosophy about it is just to, like accept that I can never know, like I guess my
That sounds
philosophy
great.
is kind of like I think it's kind of arrogant to assume that you know the mind of God or something like
Mm,
that,
mm, mm. It's a big
Like
question, and
I don't know.
that's why like the title is already dead and has a question mark on it, right? It's just it's got to be up there. Like we don't know, and I don't know, you know, and I don't make that assumption. I don't say we are already dead. I say are we already dead? I don't know, right? So it's a big thing, and everyone has the way that they're like the crutch that they lean on to kind of deal with that giant vastness of reality and space and all those things. But I've always been very, very interested in space and time and reality. So this was a song that has a lot of meaning for me. Let's go ahead and look at the video from the So Far Sounds show that we did. Let's have a look here.
Oh boy.
It's the first song um, that we did at this
Uh,
show. Do you remember this?
yeah, I'm aging so fast now.
I know.
Like you can tell,
Oh,
like
I look
I have these
so
weird
skinny.
things on my neck. Look at that. Like
Here we
it's
go.
like
Here we go. So let's have a listen to the difference. It's different, right? So let's have it. You can hear it's a little quiet, but it's more me strumming,
yeah.
and we were the. And there was a room of like I don't know how many people were there. 30 people, maybe.
Yeah.
I just remember
Yeah,
this
it was a fun thing to
this
do.
this pretty girl was just sitting there in the corner the whole time, and we talked
Yeah.
later afterwards. She was really nice, but you do some
Yeah.
really really
She
good noodling.
she asked me, yeah. I like the second or third song in this set the most because it sounded nice with the acoustics and
We're just getting going. This is the first song, so it's getting warmed up. I remember the second act, I believe. But this was really cool experience. I'm glad I've done two shows with So Far Sounds, one solo in Korea after this. Um,
yeah.
but this was us, and that was a really cool experience. But let's go ahead and look at the difference now with the actual final uh, song that we
Check it
came up because
out.
I I changed I stopped strumming and I did some plucking in the verses. Um, so it changed it a little bit and the speed changed a little bit. And I think at the end it worked out better. But let's have a listen. So, dun, 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 dun. So I'm plucking here instead of strumming, which I came up with like
Yeah.
the day before I went for recording. Like I was like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be. and the lovely it gives more room for my voice, I think. And the lovely Zoe Young Me Blanc is on the violin and does backing vocals.
Yeah.
The weight it's wrapped around my throat, it's hanging from the noose I've tied around my own neck. The years they've added.
That's her in the background giving that angelic sound.
And when they find out what you do, and the things they said are coming true.
This changes the song a lot.
Yeah.
This part right here, because it sounds a lot different. I like how it kind of like slows down.
Right. So it changes speeds, right? When we were doing it, it was kind of one speed. And this goes into 3 different speeds. It gets a little disco-y at the end. And these are some of my favorite verses that I've ever written, honestly. I like my plate is bare of all new possibilities and I'm forced to eat the things I regret. That's the weight it's wrapped around my throat, it's hanging from the noose I've tied around my own neck. The fears they've added on, they multiply and divided. Now it conquered me is all that is left. All right, so we're gonna end it there because we only have a few minutes left here together. And what we're gonna do, but anyway, I wrote it that started in your apartment and it evolved into something which I think it came out as a good product, and I really still enjoy to play it today. And the questions still, persist. Can we change? And
am I dead?
Am I dead? Are we dead? All right, so we're gonna do the last thing today. We're gonna do something. There's something that Stephen Colbert does called the Stephen Colbert Questionnaire, and I decided to do something like this. This is called the G.Lew Interview 2-minute challenge. All right, so it's 7 questions, well, 5 questions and 2 things I'm gonna ask you to choose or something. And you have 2 minutes. You got 1 timeout. Okay. That's it, and you can't take too long. Here we go. All right, so you only got 3 minutes left for this Zoom meeting, and then we gotta get out of here. So ready? All right, you ready?
Good.
All right. After this, everybody will know who Brendan Lattin is. All right, number 1, Coke or Pepsi?
Oh, definitely Coke. Come on.
All right, number 2, pineapple on pizza or abomination?
Abomination.
You're wrong. Number 3, kiss, marry, kill.
It's just wrong.
Kiss, marry, kill, and this is very topical right now, so I don't know. I wrote this down yesterday. Trump, Kim Jong-un, or Putin? And Putin. Kiss, marry, kill.
Ooh, kiss, marry, kill.
Trump, Kim Jong-un, Putin.
I think I'd marry Putin because he would protect me from my enemies.
Okay.
And I would kiss Kim Jong-un. Wait a second. The other one's marry?
Yep, Trump. So you're left with.
So it's kiss, marry.
Kiss, marry, kill. So you're gonna marry Putin. You're gonna kiss Kim Jong Un. You're gonna kill Trump. Very topical today. Interesting. All right, number 4. What's the most romantic thing What's the most romantic thing you've ever done? 50 seconds.
Most romantic thing? Oh God, I don't know. I'm not very romantic. I surprised a girl with some flowers to ask her out.
There you go. All right, number 5. What's your what's your favorite egg corn?
Eggcorn. What's that?
Egg corn. Okay, you don't know. Next. Number 6. Say I love you in 3 languages. 20 seconds.
Oh, 사랑해요. I love you, and mi amore.
All right, and number 7. What is the greatest song ever written?
Oh God. Oh, I don't know. That's too much. I can't answer that.
Brendan, you did not pass the G.Lew Interview 2-minute challenge, but that's okay. We still love you and appreciate you, and thank you for helping me out in my journey, especially at the beginning. You gave me a lot of inspiration and encouragement. Is there anything that you want to share or tell to the public, the 10 people that might watch this?
Um, Not really, but I do appreciate you having me on today, and I hope that we can make sweet music again someday.
It's been fun, man. We've
Yeah,
had some good times. And like I said, I hopefully we can maybe, as I bring people back together, reunions. Your old band, Hollow Home, that'd be a good one. Or just me, you, and Abbas for Moonshot one time. Um, there's lots of possibilities. So I look forward to it. But thank you very much today. And you are a gentleman,
yeah.
that's for sure. All right, so take care of yourself,
Cool.
and we'll see you soon. Bye, brother.
All right. Take care, Jeff. Be good to yourself, man.
See
See
ya.
ya.